up, everybody? This is Blake and Levi. We are the Turn 2 commentators, bringing you a Chicago street course recap. Gonna hit up that in-season tournament, go over some our points,
Got a
our
random
driver
question.
picks. All right, let's hear it.
Who had a better walkout, Triple H or the Hardy Bros?
Oh, the Hardy Boys. Come on now.
Who had better music? You got to admit, when the stage, everything went black, and you saw him with his wet, stringy hair, and the violations he did to those water bottles. Who was the water bottle man, by the way? And what water brand was it? Because weren't we talking about Dasani earlier?
First of all, before we get it, that I just stopped at the gas station. I was like, you know what? I had to go pee, so I was like, let me just buy a water bottle. And I got some sunflower seeds. But that bottle of water tasted like stale apple juice. I was like, why does it taste like
that?
I was like, why does it taste like apple juice? I haven't had apple juice since I was a kid, and it tasted straight up like apple juice.
I remember I asked for water at McDonald's, and they said, "You want Dasani?" They with a question mark. I said, "No, I want the other water." It was like, we don't sell that. But yeah. You know how they were glazing Kyle Larson, rightfully so or wrongfully so, depending on which way you side of the fence you are. Remember how Kyle Larson is? I've seen it in my own 2 eyes. Well, in this case, 4 eyes at Bristol, where I was like, wait a minute, how many times did they pit? 2?
It seemed like it.
I was asking 150 laps to go. Do they got to pit again? Everyone going to try. No one pitted. What happens after that? He dominates Bristol. I think he leads over 400 laps.
Yeah.
All the fans talking about Kyle Larson as this man wins at Old National dirt track, whatever, some random dirt track that we don't even have a schedule of for the average fans or casual fans for dirt racing.
Yeah.
Everyone on the broadcast kissing Kyle Larson, but everyone, supporting Kyle Larson randomly, depending on what race it is, and if Kyle Busch is wrecked yet. But SVG pulls a double on the weekend, and people say, why they just keep mentioning his name? That's the only track he can win that. I'm like, well, keep it fair. And first of all, if he wins,
also,
he wins.
The fact that nobody really seems to be talking about this stat, him and Kyle Busch are the only ones to do what he just did.
Okay, in your lifetime of you watching NASCAR, can you try to name people who have pulled the double?
I would say Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, probably Junior, probably Talladega or Daytona, something
Martin
like
Truex.
that. Tony Stewart, yeah, Martin Truex. Even probably Joe. I mean, you got guys that have pulled doubles before.
And for those who don't know, it's not all Blake won 2 weeks ago, and then he was in an Xfinity race 2 weeks later and won. No, the same on the weekend where you park the car, you're done with qualifying, you jump right into a different car and go right out there and qualify.
Yep.
Kyle Busch has pulled the triple before, right? I know he has, right?
Yeah. No, he did it at Bristol. I think he's done it at Bristol twice. Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to like Kyle Busch again.
I like Kyle Busch.
No, that's not what that reaction was in the text when you saw Carson hosting us on Dale Jr.'s download. You sounded like your wife called you and said Freddie Freeman's Acuna's in the house and he wants to autograph anything you want. I never seen a man put that many O's and wow.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. Just admit you like Carson Hocevar.
I put yes. I do like. Yes, I've admitted I like Carson Hocevar.
You seem more excited to talk about the 77, the occupant of 77 versus Kyle Busch. Remember, you were in a Josh Berry 8 shirt. You're not even supporting Kyle Busch when he drives an 8.
Hey, I try to throw you off each week with my drive. I almost threw a Kyle Larson shirt on today, but I was like, nah.
If Kyle Busch won this weekend, you say, it don't even matter. If Kyle Busch wins this week, you say, oh, okay, finally got to win. Carson Hocevar wins, you calling out of work somehow.
No, well, you see that right behind me? You see that flag? There ain't no Carson Hocevar diecast over there.
You remember those people in Walmart or
But
any of the
look
stores?
right here. Look right
Hold
here. What
on,
is this?
I'm about to prove to you. That don't mean nothing. You know what? You know those people that buy like the 15 cases of Coca-Cola at the store when they got
Yeah.
water at home? That's what that Cowboys water. You know it's there, but you're going to support something else.
Levi, if I was to go through my closet, I'll probably have 10 plus Cowboy shirts.
And women who break up with their boyfriend still got 15 a day long sleeve shirts.
Whatever. Anyways,
I haven't heard you bring your Cowboys up at all. I had to tell you this man had a top 5.
No, I knew he had a top 5.
Carson Hocevar had a top 5. You would have said you see Carson Hocevar. I almost got it.
Because he's at Spire. What do you expect? Who's better right now, Spire or RCR? If you were to drive right now, who would you go for, Spire or RCR?
Like full-time ride?
Yeah. Don't give me some Mickey Mouse answer.
I'm going to say RCR.
Oh,
because if I do bad, I go down to a good car. If I'm Spire, I'm going to the trucks. And what did what's his name? Corey LaJoy say? You want to be in a mid truck or top truck or a mid car in the top series.
So does that mean Justin Haley needs to get on out?
I don't think Justin Haley's a bad driver. I just think it's like it's like Kyle Larson driving around a 51 car. You know he's better than the car he's in.
Hang on, pause. My seat keeps falling down.
I
see myself slowly falling.
I was like, how is he getting shorter?
Okay. Anyways,
but besides the Kyle Larson glaze, but to my point, it was just all the yip yap and talk and all the BS on Kyle Larson and all that. Right. And look, it was rightfully so. But when SVG does it, first of all, Kevin Harvick, I won't get too much into that, but someone said something about how when you have a driver that does a specialty, you have to denigrate them because they can't do it at other tracks. Do you look down on Kyle Larson because he's not a good restrictor or a plate racer? Does that take away from his greatness? First of all, you're still learning. I mean, you got to treat the people that come here from a different series or a different discipline just like a rookie, regardless of what their talent is. But that's all I got.
So does that mean Michael Waltrip wasn't good at any other track? I mean, only because he won at Daytona and Talladega?
No, I just think he had a special talent. I look at Michael Waltrip like a closer that has terrible ass off-speed pitches, but he can throw one-on-one with little control. One trick pony.
So, all right. Let's get into it. Did you see the news today? I don't know. It kind of came up maybe within the last 2 hours.
Well, it depends on which news you're talking about.
2311.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
They're saying they might be racing as open teams at Dover because they denied the appeal.
That's fine. You can still present your case. If they still race as open teams, I think they'll still make it because honestly, how many cars, forget this weekend, how many cars on average are over their limit that they're bringing to the track this season that you saw? If one car?
Yeah.
So I think they'll be fine. But the only one you really have to worry about is 35, Riley Hurst. With certain tracks, he's really bad at qualifying. But I'm not, you know what? I'm not worried about front row if they lose charge because where does front row always start? Up front. They gonna have fast times. So I want to know, does it hurt the points? Let's say
they make less money.
No. Oh, I got another question. Let's say, give me a driver out of 2211. Just pick one.
Bubba.
Okay, let's say the points aren't what they were. Or no, let's say the points are what they are. He doesn't get a win, but he's 16th in points, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, he doesn't qualify for a race. Let's say he doesn't qualify for Dover, and they don't have no charters. And he misses a race. Does Bubba Wallace Team 23 get an exception or a waiver? Because it was out of their power. They didn't choose to miss it.
I guess we'll cross that bridge when it happens.
Because imagine they say he's ineligible.
Because you know what NASCAR's not going to bend the rules for them.
See, that's when NASCAR has to play both sides right. You still have to govern without favoritism and then deal with that.
But
it's like you telling on your boss for something, but he's still your boss.
I think also, I could be completely wrong, and if someone hears this and listens, comment below if you know better. I think Tyler Reddick and Bubba have in their contracts that they have to be chartered teams they drive for.
I want to know if it's like they have the choice with that, barring on how it came about.
I would assume they probably would, because if 23XI goes into next year as an open team, I'm sure Bubba and Tyler Reddick aren't going to dip out unless they want to. I don't know.
If it's owner, if you're a non-charter team, but let's say you're the driver at 45, not because you look like a full adult version of Tyler Reddick.
Yeah,
but the fact, let's say you race all the races, all 36, and you finish fifth in the points. Does that hurt you?
It hurts your pocket.
Or no, it hurts your pocket. I'm saying with the racing, you can
because the open teams get paid less.
So is it basically like Project 91 ran every single race? They won't get this much money, so it won't hurt them as far as points and in the standings. They got to make every race,
right?
What if 23XI and Front Row decide, you know, what you're gonna want is because they're independent, right? If they were uncharted, they'd just be independent, right? From NASCAR.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, do you see a way where, let's say, if Front Row bends and they break away and they get rechartered, whatever? Let's say that happens, and 23XI say we want to be independent. How does that look going forward? Let's say we're good with this. We'll deal with that. We're okay with the less money. Would NASCAR be okay with like this? Would that set the precedent for new independent teams?
It's gonna be an interesting off season because the main trials in December.
I think with 23XI, especially with their lawyer they have, they say, you know, we're probably gonna take losses before the trial, but as long as they win that trial at the end, but that's no one's talked about the price of charters, or if NASCAR say they may do away with. No one's talked about that, so maybe that's why you don't really see a lot of movement.
Yeah,
and then what else is that? The TV deal could be up. We're changing it based on how this year is going, so it can be different next year. I mean, I think a lot of people are waiting.
Yeah.
And what did you say? What was it last week? Who was selling their team? Rick Ware for over 6 figures.
It was 9 figures.
I thought adding taxes.
They're saying $100 million.
We're not getting told everything. So some people say, you know what? Imagine if they say we did away with charters next year, like January, and Rick Ware still has his team. Maybe that's why people are getting out.
Maybe.
I know you would be upset if you missed a day and the team said we would have gave you but $90 million.
If Rick Ware dips out and they do that, I mean, he just stole some money.
He gonna be the BJ McLeod of owners.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. Enough of the lawsuit. Kind of boring stuff, anyways, until it really happens.
I like how honestly the lawsuit being dialed back because you don't hear that many people talking about it anymore, regardless of the news coming out.
Yeah.
Like if I was a reporter, hey, you just won a race? No, I'll ask you got wrecked on lap 3 and it wasn't your fault. I asked you about the lawsuit.
So
next topic, I really want to know.
What'd you think about Chicago?
The whole weekend. It ran.
Yeah, just the whole weekend.
It's year 3. It's ran the smoothest. Minus like the fan having get that caution coming out. The weather was right there. The ending, I mean, you can question it, but everything seemed to run smoothly. Practice started. It was easily accessible to go watch, regardless of the app. Qualifying, minus the commentary sometimes and the camera angles, but other than that, was good.
Is that the last time we see them on the Chicago street course?
2 things. Got 2 street courses on the schedule. You take away the Roval, as even the drivers want. You can have Chicago and San Diego. And then you have your 5 road courses. Is it 7? Or is it 6?
I think it'd still be 6 because you
got those 2 street courses, 4 road courses. That's 6 out of 36 races. I mean, super speedways, what, 3? The mile and a half, the miles.
Well, your super speedways, you got 6.
All considered super speedways. Okay, I was thinking about traditional.
Atlanta. Well, they consider Atlanta a super speedway now, but
is Texas a speedway? Because I feel like it's Texas Motor Speedway. That's crazy. That's a speedway, but Atlanta is a super speedway.
Well, Charlotte Motor Speedway.
They can change Texas to what Atlanta is. That'd be. Look at how many lanes you'll have. But besides that, I think it was I think the weekend was good. How do you think if Amazon had the street course? How do you think that telecast?
Oh, it would have been phenomenal.
Especially with the city involved.
Yep, would have been phenomenal.
What race did you think was better as far as storyline, the way it played out, commentary? Because I think the race, in the in between, like the second and third quarter, were better than the cut race. The finish, I would take the cut race finish over the Xfinity finish because SVG reclaiming his first place.
Yeah. Honestly, I enjoyed both of them. I think the Xfinity race gave up because it had a green-white checker.
Both of them were good.
Yeah, both of them were great. I didn't have no complaints other than the broadcast, which we'll get into that later. But I
see Zillage on here. I think I think that was the best thing. The partner, Trackhouse, driver, and we're gonna have you racing this little race right here. Their decision making with the personnel, where to put them and who to choose, I think it's been the best in NASCAR. Because think of like besides winning the championship for Penske the last 3 years, think of the big moments in NASCAR, like what happened. Daniel Suarez, I know he's driving for Junior Motorsport, but think Trackhouse. Daniel Suarez wins in his hometown in Mexico. SVG first race in the stock car, he wins at the first street course. Then you got the Hell Melon, and then you got Ross Chastain winning World 600. Think of all of that.
Don't forget about Suarez's close finish at Atlanta last year.
Close finish at Atlanta, then his Infineon win, the Daniels Amigos, and then now look at Zillage. He's in. First of all, he needs SVG because SVG is like the savvy veteran who's still a top player. And Zillage, look at how everyone's talking about his road racing.
And you know what's crazy?
Imagine what he's going to be like in 6 years.
And he's only 18.
How many people think that Connor Zillage was in his early 20s?
Probably a lot. I mean, that man's going to be... He's
what, 6 years younger than Sam Mayer?
Somewhat of a hot take, but I bet he competes for a Cup championship before he's 25.
I'll say this. As far as pure speed, not saying these two are the best, I definitely don't think that one's the best. I look at Carson Hocevar as the antagonist. He has the speed. He's in skyrocketed Cup young. Connor Zillage is the protagonist. He's going to be, I think those two in 10 years are going to be the top rivals right there when all the big people leave.
Who knows? They might be teammates.
Okay, your Hendrick Motorsports contract is up. Let's say Chase Elliott. All of them are 30. You can get rid of 2. Who are you keeping? I'm trying to present it in a way where I can manipulate your answer.
Because, I mean, also, well, before you get into this, somebody on that team has said they don't want to be driving a Cup car till they're 40 years old. And that's Kyle Larson. I think, what is he, 32, 33?
Chase Elliott doesn't want to be doing that either.
So, Kyle Larson can probably be like, you know what? I'll give it 3-4 more years and I'm done.
Chase Elliott, he probably wants to go retire earlier. Wait a minute, what? I can only see one driver at HMS going over 40. That's William Byron.
Yeah, I think he's a lifer.
He's like on 48 and about to retire.
But I eventually see Hocevar get into Hendrick Motorsports.
Give me their lineup in 3 years.
3 years, it probably still is the same minus Bowman. It'd probably be Hocevar.
You don't see any of the top drivers. Rank in order, not who's the best, but it's you and Jeff Gordon, you're a Kendrick in there, and whoever else you want. How do you think they're ranking untouchable? Who's the most and least untouchable?
I would say
closed doors.
I would say Kyle Larson's your untouchable.
I think someone in there is thinking about the future. Like, what if Kyle Larson goes down? We know he want to retire. We got to find someone else.
I'm sure they have those conversations, but they don't really need to just quite yet.
If NASCAR had a trading, like let's say 2 weeks off trade season, if HMS can trade any one of the drivers for another driver, who do you think they would go after if this was feasible? They get a guaranteed trade package.
You'd have to go for a young guy.
Who would they trade out to trade in?
Bowman. Bowman's on the trade block.
But who would they trade him for if they had?
Can we Alex Bowman and $2 million for Connor Zilisch to Trackhouse?
Connor Zilisch to Trackhouse. That Dan Suarez. I can see them replacing Alabama and Dan Suarez because
no, I don't.
No, I can see that as like a far-fetched thing because honestly, who has a better car? Overall, Trackhouse or HMS?
Overall, better car?
Just like how you asked me about Spire and RCR.
HMS.
HMS. Have you seen Alex Bowman dominate in Xfinity Series and win? Like
no.
Have you seen that?
I don't know if I've ever.
Suarez.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen Alex Bowman race in Xfinity.
I feel like he drove the 88.
Oh, I think he's driven that 17 car a couple times. But
okay, yeah, but that's what I mean. It just depends.
All right. How many more wins can SVG get before the playoffs start? Can he get 2 more wins? Can he win this weekend?
Can you give me track names?
What we got left?
The schedule up until.
Okay. We got Sonoma this weekend, Dover, Indy, Iowa, Watkins Glen, Richmond, and Daytona.
Now, you're asking me how many races could he win? Like that 50% or more, or like a slight chance in each race?
You're going into it. SVG's got a good shot.
Not a shot, just a good shot.
Yeah.
All right, go out the tracks. I'm going to put up with my fingers.
Sonoma. Dover. Indy. Iowa. Watkins Glen. Richmond. And then Daytona.
He has 4 good chances. Because he's above average plate racer or super speedway racer. And Indy, I mean, if the car is on, the car is on, no matter what you're driving there.
Yeah.
Dover, no. I think he's going to finish 28th in Dover. if I'm betting, he probably get a top. Yeah. But I'll tell you this: if he was more consistent with the ovals, he'll be the person I'd be worried about. Imagine he was in like around the cutoff line in the points, and you're another driver thinking about he's not going to crash. If we go into a road course, I'm not going to finish him. I finish ahead of him in the road course. I think that he would be a more scary driver the better he gets. Because you won't expect him to win Dover, but if he is consistently getting top 12s, what's Carson Hocevar's biggest flaw?
Himself.
That Kyle Larson thing where he one of the top 2 fastest people at the weekend, and then something happens.
Yeah.
What about your thought? Do you think they should leave Chicago? You never answered that.
Oh. No, I don't think so.
They come to you and they say, what do we do with this weekend? Do we stay here? Because the mayor of Chicago says they are welcome to having them for 3 more years.
I think, yeah, let's bring them back. But
What about rotating
take
street
it off of 4th of July weekend.
What about just how they do the All-Star race? It's like, oh, we're going to this race this season. Have like how we want to have the rotating season finale. Do that with the street courses. That way it gets excited. Or how the MLB or Pro Sports announce where the All-Star game is.
Yeah.
Create more fan excitement. Like, let's do the fan voting. Whatever city gets the most votes, that's where we go. Just find something creative. But yeah, I can see them moving it. I know what track you want in place there, but I don't agree. But I feel like this is probably the best time of the year for them to put at Chicago because of the weather.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
but like, if
I don't know what's more. I don't know what's more American. 4th of July weekend at Road America.
I don't think that's America's track. I feel like, to me, Road America is like the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, you can see America's team, but
I'm not saying it's America's track, but it's Road America.
I think Road Atlanta is a better track, but
no,
I don't mind.
Been to that track. No,
it depends on what you're racing there. To me, but to my point is, we're going to Sonoma this weekend. Put Chicago this week, and then put the road course of your choice right before. Since you're already doing back to back, you're not gonna go from Chicago to race at Homestead.
Yeah, even though they're going from Chicago to California.
Well, as far as like, that's different. I was talking about going from a street course to your traditional track. I feel like you keep the disciplines somewhat similar.
Yeah,
because thinking of the travel. I'm pretty sure a budget team is like driven from the track to the track. They ain't even go back to their home base. They have the 2 cars. We bring the 2 super speedway cars to go race at Infineon. But I mean, how much of the scale you think is chosen on the weather? Like, you believe
sure a lot of it.
The Daytona summer race, or supposed to be in the summer, is better than the February race. You want to go to Florida in late summer? Let's say July, or do you want to go to Florida in February?
I want to go when it's nice and warm and you can go hang out at the beach. And
why isn't your family vacation in February? Who's going to lay in the water in February?
Nobody.
I mean, history is the only reason why the first race is better, because it's the first race of the season.
Yeah.
Now, imagine they did what Supercars did before we go to the next topic. Supercars' best race, forget the championship race, is in middle of the season. Imagine they put the Daytona 500 in the playoffs. Like, it's a off week, but in the playoffs.
That'd be different because
2 races.
What would be the opening race?
If you had to choose, what would you want them to go for the opening race? They can't be
Atlanta.
First of all, what is the weather going to be like if it was the first race of the season?
Oh,
it's going to be rainy.
Oh man, never mind. Don't even do that. Yeah, it's going to be cold, cloudy, and wet.
It can go rainless for 6 days and it's still wet on the ground.
Yes. Yes.
Nah, it's like nah. The South. They say the South is in Dakota, but who in the South likes the South winters when it's cold and wet?
Nobody does.
When that cold rainwater hits your neck and you got a sore throat, I feel like death. I feel like death. But yeah, I mean, you could start at Road America.
Yeah, why not?
Those fake fans would get mad at that. But like, do we hate Road Wisconsin? America?
It might be snow on the ground.
Never mind. We ever had a snow delay in NASCAR?
Or you could, start a auto club. Oh wait, never mind.
Start at Nashville.
Ooh, here this one will get people fired up. Start at Phoenix.
That'd be a double. Hey, look, I lived in Phoenix. I'm surprised as a kid. It's cold up there. It may be 23 degrees, but then in the afternoon it gets to 98.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I don't. It's no perfect place.
You got any takeaways from the Xfinity race? there is one topic we'll probably hit in green flag, black flag.
To my earlier point with that, I think SVG is just making Connor Zaylis better because what were they talking about? He's fast, but he hasn't had battle, so I feel like the end of the race was good for that. I feel sorry for a couple of drivers in there. Some of them can't drive, especially Jack Perkins came out and said he's disappointed in some of the people that are around him. Do you think how big? You know what the gap is? The top Xfinity drivers, forget their equipment, just talent, and some of the people at the bottom. It's like a 98 speed. It has an ARCA feeling to it.
It has a big talent gap. Once you get maybe them top 15 guys, you're like, ooh.
Because let's say when you're using DraftKings, you see some cars like you want to save on money, but you look in the car, this man would get passed by 40 other cars on the track if he could. It's a number in my head that whoever drives a 35, I'm like, oh. You can't nah. But that's all my takeaways from Xfinity race. I mean, I like the teammate being made. Nothing wrong with William Byron where, hey man, I'm just gonna lag back at Coda and just hey, it's fine. Nah. If it's my teammate, I want to get up there more. I ain't gonna wreck him and let him know.
Yeah.
It's like, would you have more fun if you and your brother were equal level competing against some kid down the street or your brother?
My brother.
Exactly. So you mean tell me I'm supposed to treat other people better than my teammates? Nah, I don't care who's out there. That's all I got. Both for the races, if you had to go on not the groovy scale, but the regular scale 1 to 10, I'll say they're both Cup race 8.5, Xfinity race 9.
Yeah, I'd give them both. I think I'd give them both 9s.
Yeah, it was had no complaints. I mean, how many shots of tequila, or for your case, Crown, would you have taken the entirety of the race weekend when you heard SVG?
Oh my God, I'd be probably dead.
Like you said, you should start a counter every time you hear it this weekend. We'll see who gets closest.
Yeah, I'll start a counter for both because he's running the Xfinity race too.
And that Parker Klickerman's in the booth, he's gonna say that about 15 times in a one sentence burp. I can see Jamie McMurray's face when he kept getting tired of hearing SVG.
One little thing before we I want to go over the end season bracket, but one more thing.
Shout out to Tyrone.
Was it just me, or did TNT feel like a Fox broadcast just with Steve Letarte and Dale Jr.?
You asked me a similar question right before the first race of TNT. You say you loved it as a kid, but you know it's not gonna be Amazon. I put TNT smack dab in the middle. I know it's not gonna be Amazon, but it's not.
So I know
it's not gonna be as bad as Fox, but it has you thinking that it's Fox.
So let me ask you this, because I also watched Junior's podcast, and he was talking about it. He wasn't giving excuses, but it kind of was. Was last week broadcast better than this week? Or let me ask you that. Actually, no,
I'm actually going to take this broadcast. I feel like this broadcast was more creative.
Was the first one when they were at Atlanta? Because I didn't watch that when I was at the race. Was that Atlanta one so far been the best one, or is it because
for TNT?
Or is it because the racing was good? It made it interesting to watch.
I look at that like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. If you lean Bill Belichick the race, Tom Brady, vice versa. So I feel like the fact that the race was so good, the broadcast was, I'll say, if this Chicago was a 6, this Atlanta broadcast would be 8. But the race brought it to a 10.
Okay.
It matched the intensity from the broadcast matched the race.
And I get, he was saying, there was TNT. I mean, there's been some guy, like, it's kind of an all new crew. They've never been to Chicago.
It felt like
so he saw the comments that the mist of, they missed the Bubba Wallace spin when Bowman spun them. they missed, Cody Ware. He reads the comments and said, we just didn't have the.
Sorry, you know why that what you're saying right there, what he said is better than Fox? Why automatically put him in the middle? If I know people message people about the Fox broadcast, and Clint Boyers, I always hear his name getting combative and this and that. No, Junior is sitting here giving reads, trying to work out. That's the difference.
Because like we've always said about Junior, he's a fan of the sport. He loves the sport. He wants it to be good. He doesn't want it to look bad. And that's what he was like. He called out. He called out some of the fans. He's like, I don't know. I haven't seen any negative, but I've heard the media talking about some negative comments towards Chicago. He's like, we got to do that stuff to grow our sport. He's like, yeah, I would love to go run South Boston or, Hickory, but that's not going to grow the sport.
Another reason why people like Dale Jr., just think of any business you go to, like they're willing to listen and understand the customers and the businesses that like, oh, we don't want to do that. Dale Jr. connects. The people at Fox are combative. It's one thing if you know that it's one thing if something is viewed as bad, but people are trying. You view it differently.
Right.
You get to write this, but it seems like some people don't care, and then it can be bad.
Right.
Because why are they with Fox? Money. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Yeah, Fox probably has the biggest deal. Let's get into this in-season tournament. Had some, I guess you could call it upsets.
Who's the favorite?
Maybe Reddick now. I would say probably everyone's going to go Reddick now.
Is he at betting? Would you have him as a betting favorite?
No. Because you never know what you're going to get with that guy. But Ty Dillon advances. He beats Keselowski. Ty Dillon is still hanging on. As the last seed, he faces Bowman at Sonoma.
Go to this. Do this real quick. Go to the selections
for the new ones.
Yeah, like the matchups.
Okay, you got Ty Dillon and Bowman. You got. This could be an upset. Nemechek beat Chase Elliott, and he's going to face Eric Jones.
They're going to be around each other too.
So Legacy Motor Club.
They may both start in the top 10.
Then you got Ty Gibbs and Zane Smith. Ty Gibbs beat Allmendinger.
I feel like you drew Zane Smith in there for some reason.
I mean, maybe. And then you got Reddick and Ryan Preece.
I know Ryan Preece is not going to start up there, but I feel like his 2311 car started up the front and then something happened to him. If that happens, I'm thinking Ryan Blaney.
Reddick could somehow end up in the sand stuck.
Remember, you said Ryan Blaney?
No, Ryan Preece.
Oh, I thought you said Ryan Blaney. He don't wreck. Tyler Reddick wrecks, so that makes him that. And he's around a cutoff.
Yep.
So out of all of that, who would you put $500 to win of your money? Is there a way for you to see who matches who? Like, who would Ty Dillon?
Ty Dillon would face the winner of Nemechek and Eric Jones at Dover.
And that's at Nemechek.
And then if Reddick was to win, he would face the winner of Gibbs and Zane Smith.
The track that's coming up really changes the option. It's like, imagine if Kyle Larson is facing BJ McLeod at Talladega. You don't know.
The way I'm thinking, if Bowman gets by, I got him beating whoever at Dover.
I don't care who. They can cheat.
Yeah.
When's the last time you did not see an HMS car in the top 5 at Dover at what year?
Yeah, Bowman runs good there.
I still can't forget that year. We out of the middle of the heat of the night. We all had similar paint schemes. We paid for 400 people to come in a special spot in the stands. And can you tell the people in the gallery who won the race? I did it twice.
Because I remember the red paint schemes at Martinsville, and somehow they all finished. Did they finish 1, 2, 3, 4?
I think that was at Dover.
Or was that Dover?
That was Dover. 1, 2, 3, 4. When's the last time you saw an HMS car not pass tech? Or say, oh, they didn't pass it. I don't know. What money they're sliding on the side? Because wasn't it a couple of years ago you said the NASCAR said don't bring those cars back?
Yeah.
Did they ever go into detail what those cars were?
No.
Let that happen at Trackhouse. They're going to say every single part when they search it up on the internet.
All right. Ready for some green flag, black flag?
Yeah, we can.
All right. First topic, green flag or black flag. SVG is the best road course racer. Uh-oh. do not.
Best road course.
Do not tell me you just went over there and touched your controller so your dynasty did not turn off.
Yes.
Oh, my. You know it. Are you in the middle of a game? Is that what it is?
No. I got done with the game before I got on.
Oh, then it auto-save. Why are you worried about it cutting off?
I don't feel like turning the game back on and then going through it. And, well, the internet's not connected.
Okay.
I got to check my recruiting. But to that, rephrase the question. Are you saying ever?
SVG is the best road course racer ever in Cup Series.
I answer you with this. If he started came over here in America, I don't think he'll be as good of a road course racer here if he was here.
Yeah.
Down there, I feel like the training of a road course driver is better down there than it is here if you're starting from zero. If he was 26 doing this, I'll say he'll be hands far above. But
yeah,
is he better than a Chase Elliott? Put him back in the cars where Chase Elliott was the king. He was 2 away from tying the record. Would SVG have won the Chicago race if it was those cars?
I think he'd be better.
Do you think Chase Elliott? It would have been a battle between those two.
You had to drive those cars a little bit more, and the way he drives those road courses, which he doesn't allow a foot cam in there anymore because he doesn't want to give away his secrets. I think it'd work out better in that car. That's what they said. That's what I read something where he came out and said he didn't want a foot cam anymore because he didn't want to give away all his secrets.
He probably seen like, nah, he saw a couple of road courses. Nah. Because look, if you've done something for so many times, what do you revert back to? He just got used, like Kevin Harvick said, all the people talking about is just road course wins. He can only win on that. What's his name say on DBC? He was back to racing with us for 30. Now he's racing up there for top 10s, top 15s. And Kevin Harvick said, what did a lot of people say after he won a road course race in Chicago and then he didn't win the next one? Oh, we're going to these tracks. We're improving. We're catching up. Mm-hmm. Well, he's getting used to the car now. You put him in a road course, you take him to any street course, he feels as confident as Kyle Larson does right before qualifying.
I mean, just like in qualifying, he ran out there and threw a lap down. Chase Briscoe came out there.
You know what he was thinking? He was in the car like, don't put in the wall, but just run. I'm gonna go out here and throw a lap real quick. Someone beats it, then I got a little extra in the tank. Like,
and then he comes out there and almost a second faster.
Like,
and he came out and said, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, McDowell's giving him a run for his money." He came out and said, "I kind of looked like McDowell was giving it all he had. I was just kind of riding around."
See,
when you say stuff like that, that's scary.
And it's not that. It's not being disrespectful. To me, you can see it. It's like Mike McDowell. If you're looking at it from the TV, Mike McDowell, oh, they're doing good. They're battling back and forth. But after everything you've seen, supercars are not just the two drivers.
Yeah. You could tell.
He looks like he's keeping close to him, but no, I'm not gonna burn my tires.
He looks like he's just riding around like this.
Because you know why? Take the first couple laps when he was following Michael McDowell. Just whatever you remember from that. Then take when the race is almost over. Look at the difference in the car.
Oh yeah,
you can tell going in the corner at top speed.
Yeah,
I think you can put a credit card in between the rear fender and the wall. Fully controlled.
Yeah, he's good.
He could have hit the wall. He still would have been faster.
So green flag or black flag?
Ever? If you're going,
how about let me reword that right now?
No, I can now. Well, I can answer. I can answer your first one. Talent wise, of all the road course racers ever, I mean, you can argue Marcus Ambrose on a road course. I would honestly, I don't have to segue. Put that Marcus Ambrose, like the same age, in with this SVG. How would it be the best finish you have?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to say this. Take 95% of cup drivers out. Put all the supercar guys and those cup cars and race to Chicago. What would the race look like?
Forget be pretty good.
Exactly. So I mean, I think it's good for the sport. There's nothing wrong with mile and a halves. Last chance so we can go. If they ran mile and a half every single race, nothing wrong with that. But if next weekend was Pocono, would you look forward to that, or would you look forward to Chicago Street Course or a road course for you to watch? And
well, you know how I feel. You know how I feel about Pocono. So
this is excitement.
I look forward to Dover. I look forward to Dover over Pocono, and I don't even like Dover.
I used to like Dover as a kid. I look forward
because I know it's gonna happen. Some stupid HMS guy's gonna win.
No, those races, because like the Dover race, Xfinity race, who's gonna win that? Justin Allgaier. Exactly. So green flag.
You know what? Just real quick, Junior should enter that number 40 car and let Justin Allgaier drive. He'll probably win the race for him.
He won't qualify in the top 5. It's going to see Justin Allgaier qualifies 3rd. He was fastest in practice. He leads 98% of the laps.
And blows a tire. Next one. The move SVG did on the last restart was dirty on Zilich.
You're SVG. Pick a family member. It's Connor Zilich. How is that corner going?
The same way. Maybe a little bit worse.
Does it mean you hate the person in the car? No. It's like McLaren. We should be able to beat and bang without wrecking the other person. I'm not about to, it's my teammates 2 laps ago. Let them go ahead and go. No. It can be a family member that is deceased and he brought back for 1 month. I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
But so I think it makes Sonoma even better.
Yes, it does. Because does Zilich maybe repay him a little bit if they're near each other?
Would you rather get repaid at Chicago, or would you rather get repaid in Sonoma? I feel like Sonoma annoy you more because what if I get stuck?
Exactly.
Chicago, I hit the wall. I know I'm out, and they're like, I still have to be on the track.
I got rocks everywhere.
Is it harder to come up to Sonoma, you think, for an average driver or Chicago?
Probably.
Which one would you guys come back on?
Sonoma.
Yeah,
because I will say I have a little bit more room. I feel like
you put new tires on. I feel confident to go make that pass.
Yeah.
If you make certain passes, what you can make a pass in the corner on like 3 corners here, and that's pushing it. Yeah.
Zilich will eventually drive for Hendrick Motorsports.
No. Black flag.
Okay.
I believe Corey Day. I think behind hidden doors, they view Corey Day as the heir apparent because he missed that window.
But what has he done?
I don't even think. I think it's like I think it's a Josh Allen situation. Were you ever wowed by Josh Allen's stat? You know how many touchdowns he threw his senior year in college, which was his most? What was it, 16? That was the most he threw in college. They look at him as talent.
Next topic. The delay.
Be dangerous in a Penske car.
He fits that. The delay caution call on Cody Ware's big wreck. Green flag or black flag?
A necessary negative in the eyes of NASCAR. Worst case scenario, if they had to do it, it would be like 25 minutes and there started rain on the track. They got lucky because he didn't have to get helped out the car and he was like visibly hurt if you're looking at the TV. So they got lucky.
Do you think it's optically bad because of how bad it was? Like, if he just would have like slid in there and like, whatever. But
it's the best. I look at is a penalty bad in football?
Yeah,
like a yellow flag. You ever seen teams like we're gonna take this penalty? We're okay with whatever happens.
Yeah,
I think that's what NASCAR did. It was a perfect storm. He didn't get hurt. If he was hurt and he had to get airlifted, that would have been the worst. This is the best case scenario, best negative optics that they could have.
Yeah.
Because after next week, I guarantee you ain't gonna hear about the Cody Ware thing when Sonoma race starts.
No, you won't. Also, I guess a segue into this next one. They didn't call the caution because weather was close by and they didn't want to chance it.
Yes, but honestly, this wasn't their worst caution. The Josh Berry caution was the worst one. He sat on there for 2 laps.
Yeah. This next topic, I wrote this before we saw video surface, but it was the Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman rivalry back on, but I guess no, it's not because they were hugging and laughing after the race. So
to me,
or was it a Bubba's like, I'll get you back?
To me, when I forgot who it was on TV said that he asked both Bubba and Alex right before the race, and then both played it down. It's like, and immediately when those two cars got beside each other, they were hitting each other to the point where like it's not destroying you, but it's giving what they want. It felt not staged, but it felt like they both talked about it before. What scenario would two drivers do that and not be mad at each other?
Hang on 1 second. What in the world? Your phone's going crazy.
My phone hasn't even went off over here.
Why is it vibrating?
No idea. My phone hasn't went off at all. I get on airplane mode.
Sorry, I just got sent something. I'm verifying. Okay, next topic. Ross Chastain saw red and just wrecked the first guy he saw.
No, that's a leading question. That's a leading question. It's almost like Bubba Wallace is bad for NASCAR. Like, what do you mean? If you got to reword.
Hang on, time out before you get back into this because of what you just said. The AI generated articles are wild. Have you seen the latest ones?
For what?
Chase Elliott donates $900,000 to Texas flood victims. Kyle Larson did, and then I saw one for Kyle Larson. Then I saw one for Kyle Busch. Then I saw one for Chase Elliott paying for the funerals of the kid. So I'm like, and look, no. That's what I was about to get at. People were commenting, Chase, that's why Chase is the most popular driver. I'm like, y'all really falling for this?
First of all, someone in NASCAR, it would have been seeped out. Someone would have said something either for or against it. It would have hurt. Really?
I saw another one. We could probably do a whole show on all these I've seen, but somebody posted one on Twitter today. Dale Jr. saves 2 kids from drowning years ago, and they just resurface and want to start their racing career or something like that. I'm like, what?
First of all,
the comments are like, the comments are crazy, man.
Being 100% honest, if let's say that news broke and let's say Kalen Vinci is saying it at the track, NASCAR, you would not be able to keep a straight face if you heard that as actually like, where did this come from? Best one yet was when Roger Crew got his first win and Bubba congratulated him. And I got into like 15 arguments.
Sorry, I thought I was getting offered home run derby tickets, but I wasn't.
Damn. I changed my gamer angle and play football. It's a nasty angle. You ever play sideways? I mean, play a football game? Like broadcast?
You're playing like that?
No. I tried. I do a pick six, so
I bet you did.
All right, if I played against someone like that, that's nasty. I'm gonna turn off the game.
You get dotted up.
Like if I told you that's how I played against you all these times, you were like, I see, but then you question how I got all those yards on you.
Yeah, I definitely question it. All right, let's keep this thing rolling.
You didn't answer the question.
What did I?
Yeah, that leading question. The last green flag, black. That was the most leading question ever heard.
How? Green flag or black flag? Ross wrecked the wrong guy.
No. Say what was on there. Say verbatim.
Ross wrecked the wrong guy.
No. Something about see red.
Oh, Ross saw red and wrecked the wrong guy.
Black flag because put you in that situation. You're Ross Chastain into the race, bound for a top 10 spot, and that happens to you. And
he still got in the top 10. He finished 7th.
No. Think about you in that moment after that long race. You see the 22 car. You already know just by him passing, you know he's saying something negative about you. You just know he's cussing at you. It's like the guy, like, you cut him off, you know he's going to say something about you. And he said, wait a minute, I got put in the tire barriers? I'm wrecking him next corner. What would Joey Logano do if he was in one car and he just happened to see the ones in this car he passed? What is he doing?
Joey Logano would have wrecked everybody.
They could say Jesus was the one that caused it. No, I saw the one car. I need a reporter to be spicy, and at the next track, the press ask this question. What are they gonna do? Get out?
Maybe our road courses / street course better than our current short tracks right now.
As a whole, if you average
as a entertainment value.
Oh no. I'm gonna put the whole thing. Take all of the road course, street courses as well, and then take all of the short tracks. The race, practice qualifying, the surrounding area, the fan involvement. I'm taking the road course over short tracks.
Yeah. Okay.
What's a good road out of all the short tracks? Which one's the best? Well, you like, if everything goes well with the current package, it's a good race.
It wasn't even a points race, but I'm gonna go North Wilkesboro.
I think Bowman Gray race better than half the short tracks.
Yeah, you definitely have some excitement.
I think Bowman Gray race is better than Bristol. Currently how it is.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think the road courses as the entire whole do better than mile and halves. But it's not the best product because the mile and halves are the race. If you bring in outside the track, because every time we go to road course, just pick one or the street course. They're talking about the surrounding areas and how beautiful it is, the time of year, what you can do. It's a mile and a half, and you got nothing around there. They solely go off of the race. When you go on the Watkins Glen, talking about that, the main part of New York, the water, the rivers, the trees, the greenery, the camping. We hear about the food. What do you hear about when you go to what's a mile and a half that's like you don't hear nothing outside of it? But no, Talladega. Take the current Talladega and put it against Watkins Glen. What weekend? Because when you go to Talladega, you think about the past. This car didn't even race like they did in the old Talladega.
That's fine, but I think Talladega, the Boulevard carries the weekend.
No, I'm saying like how they sell the race. I think that's what road course they do the best with. I don't know why they do so well with the road course, but they don't sell the mile and a half like that.
Who knows? All right. I'm going to kind of skip over some things because we're This thing's running long.
I'm avoiding one. We can skip that. We don't need to worry about that.
What do you what do you want to avoid?
We don't want to avoid that. I'll let you come back and get a little lead. It don't matter. We can skip that.
No, we can just get right into that. How about that?
And I think you're lying. You said you had your next 3 drivers for the next 3 races, so that means you have 6 drivers just in case I choose one of those drivers.
Well, no, I'm not worried about that because I'm gonna win every single time, so I'm not worried.
Okay.
So, okay, we'll get into it. Turn 2 picks. I won. We are up 10-9. Also, I forgot to throw this in there. Not only did SVG sweep the weekend, I swept the weekend too. I picked SVG for both races, and I beat you both days in DraftKings.
Oh well, no, I was going to give it to you because I would. If I was choosing first,
okay.
No. If I was choosing first, I would have chose SVG. So when you chose him, I didn't choose the best. So I just like when you said SVG for both, I was like, it's an 89% chance he's going to win this weekend. So that's why I chose Will Brown. I want him to do good, but that's why I chose him.
Okay.
So I knew you were going to do this. No, I knew you were going to do it because double SVG at Chicago Street Course. Who else had a chance to stop that? Zillage, maybe? No, I'm saying is it like betting. Like, who would you bet on? How many people are you betting to be at going next year? We're next year. How many people are you betting over SVG to win Chicago Street Course?
Not a lot.
That's what I mean. Oh, go ahead and glow. Take your victory lap. Because what was it before? What was the score?
But you let me come back.
No, I'm saying what was that score?
It's 10-9.
No. The score, like, you came back. You've won, like, consistently, like, I think 5 in a row.
It was 9-5.
You like Carson Hocevar win the next 2 races. Does anyone believe he's going to win championship? Nope. So you can win.
Okay.
So that's fine.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
Who are you going to choose? We both seen the entry list.
Yes, we have. Let me just double check it real quick. For my Xfinity pick, which I know we don't really count this, I'm gonna go SVG again. Just because it's SVG.
Well, can we have the same one when it's other series?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We don't really keep. We're not keeping count of Xfinity. I mean, I've picked Carson Hocevar for the trucks like 5 times this year. You gonna go with your boy Corey Day?
No, I'm thinking back. You've only chosen Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar on the truck, and Kyle Busch. I think he ran a truck race.
Yeah,
I've chosen any name. You don't even look at who's in the truck race.
That's all who. I mean, other than Lane Riggs, that's about all who's up front.
And you saw Roger Cruz's name, but he was an honorable mention. That was it.
Yeah.
So you got first pick.
Yeah. Are you going to do your Xfinity pick or
no? I said SVG.
Oh, so we're both going SVG for Xfinity.
I'm surprised you don't go Zillage with the scenario leading into this weekend
because
you know that both Zillage's going to be right there. No, I'm changing my pick. I know it's my favorite driver. I'm going Zillage.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if you didn't switch, I was going to switch just to make it interesting. But for my Cup pick,
run down who he chose so far for you.
Oh, okay. So I have chosen Martin Truex Jr., Todd Gilliland, Connor Zillage, Cody Ware, Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Byron, Bowman, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, Reddick, Blaney, McDowell, Busher, Chase Elliott, Denny, Zane Smith, and then SVG.
What I chose?
You have chosen. Well, I sent you a picture of who you chose. I don't know if you can read it.
You can read it again.
Ty Dillon, Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
You had two you had to get rid of. Eric Jones,
Eric Jones and Hocevar.
Catherine Legge, Noah Gragson, Austin Dillon, Blaney, Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, Kyle Larson, the random Chad Fincham pick, Denny Hamlin, Ricky Stenhouse, Chase Elliott, Brad K, AJ.
I've chosen all 9 on the list.
Yes, you have AJ Allmendinger. Christopher Bell, BJ McLeod, and Will Brown. Do you think? I mean, I don't know if you're putting any strategy into this, but
yeah.
Do you have an idea who I'm going to pick
for the Cup race?
Yeah.
You're 10-9. You can't choose SVG again. And you're like, you have a group of 5 cars, first to fifth option, who I'm probably going to choose because you say you have the list. And you saw no one's going to be trying to get into the Cup race. So with that meaning, you got a 1-point lead, you're probably saving a guy for Dover, whether I win or lose, because you don't think I'm going to choose that driver. So looking at your list, I'm going to give you 3 names.
Okay.
Ty Gibbs, because in your mind, he has the same chance to win at every track. I don't think he's going to win at Dover. Does he have a better chance of winning at Dover? Nope. So you're not choosing him next week. You're probably going to go with Brad K, because if he does a good, I wasn't expecting that one. He's a driver I'm not really going to choose another track. But if he loses, okay, I was expecting Levi to win. SVG versus Brad K. That's the second pick. And last, I can't believe you haven't used him yet. I don't know what rate. You probably save him for that track because you don't use him before the playoffs.
Who?
Kyle Larson. You're going to probably save him for Indy because you're looking at my list like, who is he going to choose at Indy? But the last person you're going to choose, John Hunter Nemechek. Same reason for Brad K, but you think John Hunter Nemechek has a better chance to win. And the fourth guy, probably going to say you were wrong. The guy I'm looking at right now. So was I close or anything?
Probably yeah, you actually were, because my pick for Sonoma was Ty Gibbs.
So yeah, looking at that, Ty Gibbs, exactly. And what's crazy is, if Ty Gibbs, since you're gonna be gone, I know exactly who you're choosing next week. 100% exactly. And you know I have a slight disdain for him, so you don't assume I'm gonna choose him. Think you're gonna win?
No, but I don't know where else I'd use Ty Gibbs, so I might as well use him here.
Watkins Glen.
I got somebody else for that.
No, in the back of your head, that's someone else, and it could be a special guest.
No, never mind.
Who did you go?
With what? Sonoma?
No, yeah, Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs.
All right. Cody Ware. No, I'm gonna take that back. It hasn't been finalized.
Why do you always do that?
Because he has a better chance of finishing higher than Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs may get a wreck.
I think Ty Gibbs puts it on the pole. You heard it here first.
And we can't choose the same driver.
Right.
All right. Bubba Wallace.
Oh, wow. I can't believe you haven't used him yet. But okay. You locking it in?
Yep.
All right. Bubba Wallace. Boom. All right.
You already know who I'm using for another track. You can go and pencil him in in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's who I'm using. Only way I won't use him at that track is if Lewis Hamilton comes. We don't even gotta say this man's initials. Very excited for Sonoma.
Josh Berry?
No, do you think Sonoma as a whole is going to be a better race than Chicago up there?
Depends on the weather.
I wish it was like what's his name said they were racing when it was grass all over the place. That
I want to. NASCAR should do that at least one time.
That'd probably be a more beautiful race.
Like Do that for your West Coast swing early in the year. Phoenix, Vegas, Sonoma. You'll have green grass.
Last question. Does Chicago have a chance of hosting the next 2 races, or does Portland racing in the Cup Series or Lime Rock have a better chance of being on the schedule? 2 more years in Chicago, or one of those 2 tracks replacing? Which one?
What if they did? What if they did this? What if they did this? We still go to Chicago, but not Chicago. If you get what I'm saying.
I say you do both, because I feel the Chicago Street Course puts on the back. I think the Chicago race really good, but I think as a whole, the Chicago race, I wouldn't trade 1 for 1. I would want Chicago. What would you take away if they said, Lancaster, put Chicago back on? What would you take away? I'll take the Roval.
Oh, for sure. I've been wanting the Roval gone forever.
And since the Roval be gone, what road course would you want in the playoffs if you had to choose? I'll put the road course right before Phoenix.
I was gonna say, or put Watkins Glen back in. Watkins Glen was in the playoffs last year. It was in the first round.
I would do Sonoma than Phoenix. If I'm thinking the playoffs, move Phoenix up.
Yeah.
They know and do a mile and a half. Put the Sonoma and then put Phoenix right before that championship round.
Yeah.
That way you can finish it on Homestead. You did your West Coast swing. You got everything.
But before we wrap this thing up, any Sonoma preview, any hot takes for this weekend? Does SVG does he win Sunday?
I got 3. SVG pulls the double, and after he pulls the double, you'll see who has a slight hate for him. You know how you can be able to tell people that in NASCAR if he pulls a double again. You'll see that. Sage Karam gets the top 10 in the Xfinity Series because he's racing. That's random, I know. SVG does better than get the double. Starts first in both races. Imagine that. Or fastest in both practices, poles in both races, and wins both. What would the headline be for that? If SVG, let's say he wins the double. He pulls the double off. He wins at Dover in the Cup Series. What's the storyline going in there? If I'm a driver, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he's gonna have.
If this man, imagine if he had Kyle Larson's talent on a mile and a half,
it'd be unstoppable.
Well, you got to hope for the super speedways. When's the last time we had do you remember the time we had a NASCAR driver that you can clearly see a gap between that person and the whole field?
Jimmy Johnson.
Nah, first of all, because I'm calling a red flag on that timeout, because that time you said Jimmy Johnson, like right after he won that championship, like you probably thought he wasn't even good that year when he won that last championship in 2016. You said he wasn't good.
Yeah, no.
Name me a time where Jeff Gordon wasn't good.
I was going to say Kyle Busch too. There was times where Kyle Busch just looked unstoppable.
I'm asking my last question. In your head, how you saw those seasons go, do you truly believe how things are going that Jimmy Johnson would still have all 7 of those championships, or other people that got some of those?
There should be some other people, maybe some Kevin Harvick, some Kyle Busch, maybe Jeff Gordon.
I know
maybe Tony Stewart.
If Jeff Gordon would have got another champion, not Jeff Gordon, but Dale Jr. would have got a championship. I think
one of those should have been Carl Edwards.
I think
don't even get us started on that.
I think that was an inside job, Joe Logano. I would have retired too.
NASCAR paid off Joey Logano to wreck Carl Edwards.
I'm gonna tell you this. In my head, and click this off. The Lewis Hamilton Abu Dhabi race, where they changed the rule. They haven't changed this rule in 10 years for that one specific one. How do you think these 2 people feel? Lewis Hamilton watching Max Verstappen take that checkered flag, or Carl Edwards looking at the wall? He should have won the race. What do you think that?
Those are probably some pretty bad feelings.
Good thing he had a family, because imagine if he was single going home. Imagine the thoughts in his head. Man, that's all I got.
That concludes this episode. If you've enjoyed it and made it this far, like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Share it. Go find us on TikTok and Instagram and all that. Turn to commentators.
Coming soon to OnlyFans.
No, we're not.
Yes, we.
No, we're not.
Hey, look, if they offer to sponsor us, you gonna turn them down?
I mean, I guess money.
See,
money talks.
Yeah, they say $500 a pod. Yeah, it'd be a guaranteed time slot you have.
Oh, for sure. But that's all I got. Sonoma this weekend. Watch for SVG. Later.